watching commercials or station breaks and so forth, the audience gets a chance to ask us their questions. And somebody asked,
do you know what you're having?
Do you know what you're having? And Joyce said,
a Republican. They left once, they left twice.
Okay, we don't know the sex, but that was speaking of Republicans or not. So, on the eve of President Obama's 100 days, he got a big present because Senator Arlen Specter of Pennsylvania, who's been in the Senate for 6 terms, has announced that he is switching from Republican to Democrats.
But he used to be a Democrat. But then he went to Republican. Right. Now he's back being a Democrat.
Right, which means that they will have 60, the Democrats. And
if Al Franken comes in.
And then there will be virtually no filibusters.
Yeah.
Because so it's a very big move.
But he's not the first switch hitter, you should pardon the expression. There are others. I think he's he's like the 13th.
But this is a very big
This is a crucial time for it to happen, I think, especially upon, the 100th day. And I think it does in a way, one would hope the word is out there this is maybe a very self-serving move for him in terms of future election.
He has said so.
Yeah, and he has said so. Not only that, but he has said a month ago that he would definitely not leave the Republican Party, that he believes in the system that we have in our government, and he believes that no party should be left unchecked. And for that reason, he was going to stay in the Republican Party. Something maybe Joe Biden got in his ear in the past month.
Well, Joe Biden's been trying to get him to change.
They've had a strong relationship.
It wasn't just that. He had. It seemed that he would not win the Republican Party in the Republican nomination in Pennsylvania. He was very open about this. He was very open. He said, "I'm not going to." Aside from the fact that I no longer feel aligned with the party philosophically. He will win on the Democratic nomination.
So he switched.
So, but he said it. This was no secret.
He's honest about being, I guess, self-serving.
I mean, sometimes there's nothing wrong with if you see a ship sinking to get off because you're going to sink.
But here's the thing.
It's sinking.
It's his duty. I think people saw him as serving a larger group and serving a larger purpose of government and that sort of dual power. And I think that without that, it's in such contrast to me. I remember it goes back to the election when John McCain, his theme throughout was country first. Yeah. And I feel like he always made that decision, even if it didn't work for him personally. And I feel like this is the complete opposite.
Well, maybe, Elizabeth. On the other hand, and I'm trying to just give the balance, on the other hand, he said the Republican Party has become far too conservative for him. He philosophically does not agree with them, and therefore he has made the choice. It is a practical decision, but one has to give him credit for saying, that maybe the Democratic Party is something that he feels more aligned to.
Isn't this a state that they voted for Obama? So another way of it could be is that the people that he serves voted for Obama, and he's serving the people.
Or he knows that they'll serve him and vote for him.
But it's also not Reagan's party anymore. It's supposed to be a big tent. Sure. Now it's like a studio apartment in Manhattan. There's no big tent anymore.
Last year,
love to believe.
I don't know that this is...
It's true. I mean, Obama has like 70% approval rating. 74. Come on.
Last year, more than 200,000 Republicans in Pennsylvania became Democrats. Is that possible?
I mean, and I'm going, so you got 200,000 people who became Democrats.
It's market research. But you can't vote for him in the next
I don't know if it's market research, 200,000 people voting for Obama.
I'm saying, but if he's running for election, he's seeing that number of people, he's thinking, oh, would they vote for a Democrat or a Republican?
Well, there is something cynical about his move, I'll grant you that. But people do not want to be...
It's called politics.
It's politics. Yeah. But people don't want to be associated with the Bush administration's White House anymore. They don't want to be associated with that party. So the party has to come... Nobody wants to be attached to a party that was against global warming problems, that was against stem cell research,
absolutely not true
that had a preemptive war in Iraq. People are moving on. Progress. And the Republican Party has to come into the 21st century. Until they do, they're going to be in the White House.
Right now, one of the big discussions, of course, is what happened in the last administration when it came to torture and waterboarding. And Fox newsman Sean Hannity. Well, you tell us.
Well, he supports waterboarding. He doesn't think it's a big deal. So I was watching.
Not necessarily true. But.
Well, he supports it. He doesn't. What does he say?
Discuss.
Go ahead.
You continue.
No, tell me what his position is before I show the clip.
Torture is a very broad subject, and I think at some point something becomes torture to one.
He's talking about waterboarding in particular.
Waterboarding specifically.
Okay. So Charles Grodin was on his show on Fox, the actor and comedian. He's very funny. And Charles challenged him to see how the waterboarding tactics work firsthand. Look at this.
You don't want to live through 9/11 again. Is it really so bad to dunk a terrorist head in water and make him talk? Tell me what's wrong with that.
Would you consent to be waterboarded so we could get the truth out of you?
Yeah, sure.
We can waterboard you?
Sure.
Or are you busy on Sunday?
I'll do it for charity. I'll let you do it.
I wouldn't do it.
I'll do it for the troops' families.
I wouldn't do it. I'll hand you a towel when you come out of the shower.
Okay, so he threw in the gauntlet by saying, I will be waterboarded for charity for the troops' families. So Keith Olbermann on MSNBC is ready to give him $1,000 a minute for the troops' families if he will be waterboarded. So we're waiting
Can I just say one thing? Well, first of all, Sean, first of all, this sort of charity, if you watch it, obviously they were joking. Sean does a lot for... Sean has concerts all over the United States to support the troops, raise hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for our military men and women and their families. He doesn't need this to do it. And Keith Olbermann, by the way, had nothing to do with this conversation. He is trying to get in on what happened on Sean's show, which kind of kicks his behind in terms of ratings, and capitalize on that.
But if you put it, I mean, it was such the way he said it. Sure, you know, I mean, what's wrong with dunking a terrorist head in water?
You put down, what's his name? What's the senator who just switched? I can't remember his name. Arlen Specter for jumping like that. So that's what Keith Olbermann's doing. It's just as cynical, but it's a good ploy.
It's a ploy. He's just trying to get people to invite him into this conversation. He wasn't invited into the conversation, nor the challenge.
It's free speech, honey. But what about the fact that Sean Hannity is not doing it? Come on.
Is not doing it?
TikTok.
He doesn't need. Sean makes it. Why doesn't? Wait a minute. If they really want to raise money for that cause, why doesn't Keith match the amount of money that Sean raises in his freedom concerts? That would be a lot more beneficial.
But that's also beside the point.
But I would love to see Sean Hannity do it because I think, you know, he was, for me, was a little callous about how he said it. I think that is torture, and I would, you know, see how it feels.
See how it feels. See if you think it's torture.
Speaking of how it feels, because there's controversy about how long, you know, is it seconds, is it minutes, is it so forth. But you know, yesterday when I told you I just came back from the Iguazu Falls in Argentina, and so you know, they are really falls. So you go from this posh hotel, the Grand Hotel, with the marble and so forth, and then you take a little boat ride. So as you're taking a little boat ride, what they don't tell you is the fun of it is they go under the falls, and this thing hits you in the face. Cindy Adams and I are screaming, waterboarding, waterboarding. And the guy says, do it again? He said, no, waterboard. Yeah, again? So let me tell you, that was 10 seconds of...
And it wasn't fun? Or you like...
Well, I don't know, you're screaming.
$10,000 for you from Keith.
I mean, I shouldn't be, you know, I don't want to make a joke about it. I'm only saying...
No, but the point is,
you know,
let's end this topic on this point. John McCain says it doesn't work, and he's been waterboarded. Okay,
Meghan McCain came on.
It doesn't work.
Wait a minute, not always. We have seen situations where these terrorists responsible for 9/11, under harsh circumstances, have revealed information that have saved thousands and thousands of lives.
This is like taking somebody in a crime scene, let's say, taking him in without due process and torturing him. That's not America.
Torture is a conversation that deserves more breadth than what we can offer right now. There's an entire, landscape of things that can be done to these people in terms of interrogation.
Let's see everything. Let's see it.
It is an enormous
torture.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
What do you think it should happen like this?
In the meantime, guys, we got to go, but we're going to come back with really important discussions. Dancing with the Stars, American Idol. Right? We'll be right back. Okay, from waterboarding to American Idol, what other show gives you this, Elizabeth?
Yes, American Idol last night was Rat Pack theme, and Jamie Foxx was the coach, and he had some interesting advice for Danny Gokey. Danny did not realize, didn't realize he was having a cavity check that day, but it worked. He was outstanding aside from his personal space being avoided. What happened on dancing?
You know, Melissa got hurt because she had a little hairline fracture to her rib, so we thought that she might have gotten voted off, but she actually didn't. Julianne's boyfriend got voted off, but I think it was the jeans that Melissa wore that saved her from getting voted off.
Because they had to use this footage right here of her practice.
To judge her.
Of her practice round to judge her, right?
Good.
Rehearsal.
Yeah, but those jeans look great.
I know. What are they? Stretch. They have to be like at least 3% spandex in those. That's great.
How is it that
spoken like a designer.
But when plumbers wear those type of jeans, you don't think it's so great?
You know what? I was not going to say this on the air, but I took your jeans with me on the trip.
Did they get waterboarded?
They're great, and I want to buy another pair.
Okay, well,
whatever. They were terrific. They were really terrific. Free, unpaid commercials.
From your QVC.
Thank you.
From your QVC. So, you have something to tell?
I do. All the parents out there are going to be very excited because WiggleTime.com is an educational virtual world designed to help children learn while they play. And today, everyone in our audience is getting a Wiggly gift basket filled with including a voucher for a 3-month free all-access pass.
Okay, so now we have taken care of... We have taken care of every important subject.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
we have taken care of politics, waterboarding, American Idol,
And Dancing with the Stars. And the Wiggle
Inspector, and your wrestling match. So in that case, we can take a deep breath. We'll be right back with Molly Matlin.
We covered everything.